Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LCP Blunt Talk podcast, special edition coming from Da Nang, Vietnam, where the final weekend of the LCP will go on this weekend. And we have people here who are living and working, and may I say, breathing the LCP. So I will let our guests introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Piotr. I'm head of the product team for LCP. Take care of everything related to LCP and hopefully doing a good job, as I'm sure you guys will tell me.
Yeah.
I think you're doing an excellent job. And it's not just because I'm the CEO of Team Secret, but like truly from the bottom of my heart, if I could thank you, I would. But no, I'm Team Secret's CEO. My name is John, and I'm the one responsible for all the leaks in our organization.
It's nice. Yeah, and my name is Vestion. I was on the first episode of Blunt Talk, and I'm here again, obviously English caster for the LCP. I've been in the region for years and years, coming from Oceania, and now more involved in the greater region. So it's great to be here once again with everyone else.
Okay. John, I think that the script for the final is like already fixed. So if you have any problem with Piotr, I think you can like fire it away.
Oh yeah,
Don't worry.
I
The
definitely
fix is already fixed.
I hope it's the right script.
So how's Da Nang treated you so far?
I mean, I love it. I love being in Vietnam. This is why, one of the reasons why we wanted to invest in Vietnam for the last several years. It's great to be able to finally play here, on such a grand stage. And I think the fans and the excitement, everything, you can just feel it as soon as you get here.
Yeah. I mean, personally, obviously I'm from New Zealand, so being here in Da Nang is very, very hot and very humid. But other than that, I'm really, really enjoying it. I mean, I'm sweating profusely, but I'm getting to go around the stadium, meet a lot of people, obviously meeting John, Piotr, and Lou now in person for the first time, as well as many others. I've loved it more than I could possibly explain.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, I feel similarly to you about the weather, but it's my first time actually in Da Nang, not my first time in Vietnam. So far, really awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to what we can do here. So far, the food's been great, atmosphere has been great. Let's hope it continues.
So you satisfied with the decision to make the LCB final weekend in Da Nang, right?
Oh yeah,
So far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was it took us a while to make that decision. Things were moving pretty fast in the first year, but I think we're in the right place. I'm super excited that we can bring the event to Vietnamese fans, especially. And yeah, let's hope we continue.
Can you share more about the decision to make the final in Da Nang? What's the best thing about it?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we have the sort of base, the studio for LCP in Taipei. And so that's the city that's seen the most play so far on site, right? But we do want to, we cover pretty much all of APAC, except Korea, that China that has their own region. So we want to bring our events and the kind of experience like this to fans all over the region. So that's why Vietnam was one of the kind of first places we thought about. The fans here are passionate. There's tons of them. They really love League of Legends. The region has a long history, obviously, of hosting League of Legends events and of the fandom. And besides that, there's a lot of, I'd say, logistical reasons. Wherever we bring an event like this, it's not just us, like Riot or our team. Obviously, this couldn't happen without the support of Da Nang City, our partners FPT, our publisher BNG. So there's like really hundreds of people that contribute to this, and I think all of that kind of coming together is what enables us to bring an event like this to the fans, and then that was also what made us choose Da Nang as the first destination.
I think this will be the perfect opening speech for an event like this in Vietnam. Usually in Vietnam, when we have a sport event, there's a big guy, so I stay to start the event with a speech like this. So you are perfect for the job here.
All right, perfect.
The script so far is really running well.
This one gonna have in the video on.
Oh, for sure. Now I just got to learn this whole thing in Vietnamese. So bear with me.
Did you always, how long or how quickly did you guys want to do it in Vietnam? Was it like before the year started? Was it like a month into the year or like, I mean, not necessarily just Da Nang, but in Vietnam?
Yeah. So I mean, we started talking about it about the same time as we started talking about where to actually have the studio.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a similar process. right? Obviously with the roadshow, we can do something else every year. But yeah, this started early on. It's just, we had a lot of things to take care of at the start of the season. And so this took a little longer than we'd like. For next year, we'll start talking about it and arranging it. We've already started essentially. So we hope to confirm it a little bit sooner next year.
I think it's good that we have like everyone from everything LCB related. We have the team, the production and community, and the guy who's like behind it all.
Yeah.
So
The guy who gets the blame.
yeah,
It's fair.
maybe we start with a good thing. I think good thing about the team from John.
So now I know like any technical difficulties or long tech pause, who to call?
The LC pause.
Oh no, Casante bug.
100%. No. Yeah. Bring it.
Okay. All right. So what was the question?
Anything about the LCB you want to talk about with the head of product here?
You said good. That's why he's struggling.
Yeah.
yeah,
You can start with the bad.
We
You can
start
start
with
with
the
the bad.
that's why I wanted to clarify the question. I mean, no, I think the LCP has been really good for the growth of our team because we get to do a lot more regional and that's considered like international play, and playing against other teams in our region. I think we learn a lot more and kind of level up ourselves. And also, I think it's a great experience for our players to be playing on site in another country because it's personal growth as well. Right? It's not only learning like how to level up as players and increasing your skill set in game. But it's also learning basic things about like how to, mature as a person, how to grow up essentially, right? You're playing away from home. The food is different. You're not comfortable in this environment. You don't even know how to do basic things like pay for utilities and water and all these things, right? And so these are all things that you learn and it helps you like mature as a person, not only as a player. So these are things where, it's part of our journey and it was tough at the beginning, but I think our players, our staff, everyone in the organization has really learned a lot and has benefited from this process.
Yeah, I guess in a way as well, it's like what you said, it probably helps when obviously now Team Secret Whales are going to go international for them to have an experience essentially already playing internationally for all the players, right? So going over to China to compete in Worlds is going to be a little bit more comfortable than otherwise it might have been if they just came out of the VCS.
Yeah, I always say, you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow.
Yeah.
And so this is an experience that has really helped us grow. And I think you've seen it in our journey, even performance-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to the LCP, the thing I find the best coming out of it, honestly, is like, you look at like, obviously last year you had VCS, PCS, right? And there were both regions with really strong teams going to Worlds or going to MSI, whatever it may be, but they would never quite reach the expectations you'd perhaps hope for them. And now this year you got Vestion, you got MSI, you had CFO going over there, Garmin, MSI as well. And I think they overall exceeded expectations, especially at first stand. And then CFO as well at MSI in particular, going to 5 against T1, taking game for AL, these are things that I think without having the PCS versus VCS rivalry going on so consistently, I don't think we would have seen, because there are just differences between how the VCS teams play and how the PCS teams play. And so you match them up against each other and they get to learn from each other a lot more. And you get to see that in other regions, right? Like look at LEC. They have so many different countries coming together to compete in this one league. NA is a little different, but even then you've got like Canada and US, and it's such a large territory where you still get a lot of differences in variety of play. So I think now that the combination of all these regions come together, and obviously still a lot of growth to come from like the LJL, the LCO, the other wildcard regions, I still think that the basis of the first year has looked really good for the progress of, years to come.
Wait. League of Legends still has NA?
Yeah.
We'll
Not
see
so
after,
sure,
after
yeah.
the upcoming international events.
Yeah, for now, it's an asterisk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just gotta verify.
I'm glad to hear that that's I guess seen as a positive thing. I wasn't sure as you're like talking about for teams, it's definitely been a challenge, right? Like when we decided that we need to have sort of like a base in one place, bring everyone there. For Vietnamese teams, for Japanese teams, Osh teams, right? It was a challenge. I'm sure you can speak to that a bit, right? Like to go there. But yeah, the aspect that you're mentioning around like exposing everyone to kind of inter-regional, international play, giving them the experience of playing on stage, facing different metas from different servers, let's say, or different regions, right? Different styles of play. I think honestly, we didn't expect it to sort of show effects in the first year. Like that's usually something that takes years to properly sort of develop. But yeah, I mean, seeing how teams perform internationally, maybe there's something to it right away, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's always going to be hard because of like, there's obviously here, especially in CFO, that big caveat of like, what is Hong Q? He's this big wild card, right? But I think you just remove that. You look at last year, PSG, they had essentially just one of the best APAC rosters you could ever dream of, including Junja being their jungler. They still couldn't find the heights that CFO have. And I think a lot of that comes from that inter-regional competition.
Another like immediate effect is the viewership. I think I don't have the exact number right now, but compared to the last season of the VCS, the first season of LCP, the viewership is way higher for me.
I mean, and we've seen huge growth also in co-streamers, so great job. I think, in general, I think there's a few factors in this. First, generally, everyone appreciates kind of higher stakes, right? And even though we're part of the same league now, when it's like a Vietnam team versus a Taiwan team or like an Osh team, you know, like you get like, oh, well, it's the other guys. It's our frenemies, right?
Yeah.
From same region, but
Throwing a sympathy bone to O's there, mate. I didn't miss that.
no, it's kind of like straightforward on paper. It's like, hey, you have the favorite teams of people from different regions, so more of them watch.
Yeah.
And so we've seen that LCP on its own, especially in the finals of mid-season, right, Split 2, we've seen just a peak of viewership that we've never seen before in the region. We haven't yet beaten like every viewership record of each individual league. So if you look at just Vietnamese viewership, I think we still have a ways to go, but obviously the trend for year one, I'd say is really good. So that's quite exciting to see.
Yeah, and I think it's also heartwarming to see like fans gather from other regions and other countries for your team that's like historically like a local team. Right?
Sure.
I mean, looking at even like the English broadcast, it's like all like in Korean, and then like fans coming out to support our team and support the other Vietnamese teams in Taiwan. Like these things are like very heartwarming to us.
Yeah, I think to that as well, real quick, is like one of the best things that I see in the LCP in comparison to literally any other region in the world is it's like, it doesn't really matter what team someone's a fan of because they all seem to just be a fan of the league. Like as soon as, let's say, GARM is out, like right now, right, I'm sure 99% of the GARM fans are now just going to be supporting Team Secret Wales, right? Like they don't have this passionate thing where they're like, okay, my team's out, I hate every other team, right? It's very much a community where everyone is kind of on board at supporting each other, and you see that as well when they go internationally. So I think that's really heartwarming to see, and it's something I think that's really important for the newest league in the world.
Yeah. I can share a little bit about that because recently I have seen a lot of Vietnamese fan club supporting CFO and PSG.
Yeah.
So we still have Vietnamese fans for the Taiwanese team in the past, but like not at this level for the first time in the LCB because the fans now they have the chance to watch the Taiwanese team like on the weekly basis, and they become fan of the CFO and the PSG Talon team. Not LCB fan in general, but fan for that specific team.
Yeah, I think that honestly that works as well, right? I think because of how the stakes are set now, right, where even if it's a CFO, if you're a Vietnamese fan, they still represent you. Of course, I think for any fan, it's the best if their favorite single team or favorite single players in the event. You can't always have that. So yeah, in this case, I think the teams have also credits to all our orgs, like done a lot of work in approaching and in a way introducing themselves to fans in other regions. We've seen a lot of examples of fans becoming, say, fans of a team from another region, maybe just because they like their content or they like their play style, right?
Or they're 017.
Sure. Right. Hey, there's a story. There's a story there.
Exactly.
Right? There is a story there. A really good comeback story potential for now.
True.
Right? Yeah.
I think the one problem the fan I will be representative of the fan as
Sure.
they have some question. Fan interaction for local team now they become a regional team, but they're based in Taiwan, and the direct connection between like fan of like maybe Team Secret Whale and GAM and MPK. So how do you deal with that in the first season from your perspective?
Yeah, I think the first season is it's like a learning for everyone across everything, right? So like fan engagement is one of the things that we value a lot, and it's something that we have learned a lot. So now, like you mentioned, right, we're a team that plays in like offsite essentially, but we have like a lot of ideas for season 2 now, right? We have a lot of ideas for things like local watch parties. Like how can we bring the fans out and like locate them together to still show fandom and connect with our players, even though our players are playing somewhere else. So things like that, we want to do more. How can we connect more digitally? How can we just drive more community engagement, even though we're playing outside? We have a lot of ideas around that, which we hope to roll out in season 2. But all the questions about the strict script for season 2 is this guy. Yeah.
I mean, okay, we honestly we haven't caught up to writing the script for Split 2 yet. But,
But the script for season 1 is already done, right? Yeah, so
you have to ask the broadcast team. They're the masters of the script. But yeah, I think this is also something we think about a lot on the team. And right now we're doing a single roadshow per season. I don't want to sort of imply that we're going to do more because that's a huge undertaking, right?
Sure.
But we're definitely looking at other ways, maybe a bit less like high scale compared to Da Nang, right? But how to bring this on-site play to fans locally outside of Taipei as well. And you've seen probably in other regions, teams organizing kind of like mini road shows themselves, doing some kind of kickoffs in another location. So we're definitely exploring stuff like that. Again, this is our first year, so there's been enough going on with just the sort of relatively simple plan that we have so far, but it's definitely top of mind for us so that we can bring this kind of excitement and the exposure of local fans to their local heroes on site wherever we can.
Andy, like team Secret Well home ground in Saigon season 2. I think the home ground system in FCK is a good example for that.
Yeah.
We have like most of the game played in LL Park, but there will be game played in the other venue for the team.
Busan or
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy about the I guess the openness to experimentation, because I think this leads to overall better product. And I can, you can see like some of the results, right? Like even coming into Da Nang, you just feel like the excitement. Even as the stadium and the venue is getting set up, you kind of feel like, this is like a big thing. And I know it's a huge undertaking, but you see like sort of the results of doing that. So hopefully, things like that can be either expanded upon or there's more ideas that you can try.
I think one thing I wonder about as well is, do you think from like a league's perspective, there going forward would be any way to like introduce a way or like show off the personalities of the players a little bit better? Because like I think this year, at least in my opinion, a lot of the heavy lifting of how a lot of notoriety came to the LCP is like Driver at first and right? Like doing these dances. Taki more recently with his social media dances. I think these are like two ways that the players themselves have like randomly come up with and started doing. And I think like for the league, it would be really good to have more of those showcase because I'm sure there are more that like, wanting to come out
for sure
to try and get out there.
No, that's a very fair point. And we also noticed that there's been a few, let's say, smaller things. For example, in the venue or on broadcast, you can see that like during player walkouts, when we introduce the players, we have animations instead of just photos.
Yeah.
So the players express themselves in all kinds of cool and weird and funny ways.
And the handshakes too. Yeah.
Right. And the fans sort of immediately picked up on that. So there's definitely been like a few things that we also noticed kind of make more sense. So there's nothing I can like give you right now. Like, we'll do this exact thing. But that kind of trend is definitely something that we need to do. As we've discussed earlier, right? Like the building kind of cross-regional fandom for all of our teams, I think helps all teams, helps all fans have someone to cheer for, helps the league overall. So we're definitely going to do more of that. And I think that's a good example. We have a lot of very unique kind of talent and local quirks and memes that we definitely want to expose and show to all of the fans, make like LCP a platform for that.
I think the content creation as a regional league is it's a pain in the ass because we have like the LL eSport Vietnam for the Vietnamese team. We have the English bay for English and maybe the Mandarin bay for Taiwan.
Yeah.
So to unify on that content and like how to make good content from like fragmented system. Like, you have any plan for that? Because and from my I look at every fan base and I see the different.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, honestly, I think that's kind of like both a blessing and a curse, right? I think the how diverse the region is culturally in terms of languages, etc., is actually awesome, right? We've talked about how it brings like different play styles, but also brings different cultures of being an esport fan and celebrating the teams in different ways, just enjoying the esport in different ways. So I think we don't want to lose that. Like, I don't think LCP will ever become like a one size fits all, like, oh, this is the sort of LCP way, and now we do everything the same way in Vietnam and Taiwan and like Ocean, Japan.
Amazing.
I don't think that's what we're gonna do. Obviously, there are some things that needs to be consistent, right? Like when we're communicating about changes, about our schedule, about our format, like we want everyone to kind of understand, right, what we're doing, and so that needs to be unified. But I think again, it's a good point. We need to still refine and improve the way that we like showcase those differences and celebrate them actually, rather than like imposing a strict one size fits all approach.
Yeah, I think content creation actually will only get better with time because this is the first season of LCP, and a lot of content creation depends on storylines, right? Even though season 1 is scripted, it takes time for storylines to develop and rivalries and things like that, right? But you're right, it is a blessing and a curse because as we get more player expression, it's really good for the fans. But it's a curse because the team owners are going to get more penalties from the league.
Yeah, maybe we do need to do a bit more media training for some players. But no, I think so far it's been great, honestly. And we also need to see what kind of sticks with the fans, what they want to see, right? It's because the styles are so different. Again, we don't want to ram any particular style of content or like storylines down people's throats. We just want to find out what they like and what they engage with. And if that's different in every country or in every language, it's going to be a lot harder to deal with, but so be it. We'll do our best.
Talking about content, like Taki can lift a lot of things off your shoulder, right, Chon? Because for some other team, the CEO like had to be the main guy.
some other
but I only see you in like one video of the team, something like a team meeting when you like have a workshop with a
because it's because I taught Taki every dance he knows.
Okay.
That's why he actually learned dancing from me, right? So when you're able to teach, you can delegate and then you can chill.
There's a stage.
I mean, I don't think the type of dancing that I do is not appropriate for this podcast.
Right. So
you really want to see that dance, don't you?
Yeah. No, because the men's section about 2025. So I think we talk about a lot about the good thing. I think about the bad thing.
No,
unleashing.
The spicy one.
Yeah, I think the one thing about 2025 that was, I guess, a little bit, I don't know if disappointing is the right word, but it feels like there's a very big disconnect between like the top 5 teams, which are all PCS, VCS, and then the bottom 2 teams, which are the LJL and the Chiefs. And like, while there are some positives where that created a rivalry between the LJL and OS, and then obviously the upper rivalry, I think it makes it a lot harder for fans of Oceania or fans of LJL to be as passionate about the region in these cases. And I guess I wonder, from your perspective, is there something as a league where it's not necessarily always going to be based on performance, because you can't, as right, improve the performance of any teams, but is there a way that you could possibly improve the hopes of a region, perhaps?
Woo! Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, a little bit of that is, what we looked at from the start. So basically, when we were considering, which teams do we approach, how many slots can be just straight up won by competitive merit versus how many do we want to use to include the regions that maybe didn't perform as well. Although maybe in Japan's case, like SAGG did quite last year, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
this seemed like a no-brainer. And you're right. Like we obviously can't control, script aside, can't control how the teams perform. But yeah, I think there are ways to improve the chances over a region, or like any of the or like sub regions, let's say that are part of the league. It's not easy and it's not fast, but it's definitely one of our responsibilities as the league. So yeah, if you're gonna blame someone, like, bring it, right? So generally the way we approach it is like to improve the competitive performance of a region, right? There's a couple of things that it needs. Stability is one, and sustainability for the teams that are there. It needs to have a healthy like ecosystem and a healthy path to pro, right? So it needs to have a lot of new, fresh blood, young talent coming in and challenging the incumbents, right? To do that, the kind of local league needs to exist, needs to sustain, and needs to be relatively competitive. It needs to be just basically a good business for the partner that's operating it and for the teams that are participating. It needs to have fans and so on and so forth, right? So there's a lot of components. Some we have more control over than others. But yeah, so a little bit of that is reflected in how we select the teams. Obviously, having promo relegation, right, is one of the biggest components of that. Yeah. So I don't want to say that we kind of like outsource the responsibility to the regions. Like, hey, you have a path, so figure it out, right? There's things we're still doing, and in every kind of region or market or country, it works differently. We don't have like this same approach everywhere. So like VCS, PCS, LJL, OSH, they had kind of leagues that existed already when we started LCP. So that was pretty straightforward, right? Just plug them in. And then we've also worked with our local like Riot offices, our publishers locally, other partners to set up smaller, I guess, local leagues that generally fit into the wildcard qualifier.
Yeah.
That then brings you to Promorello. So, we've set up the path. We're working with our local stakeholders to make those leagues better and just basically survive and sustain. I think once that happens, we're going to see just pressure from the bottom, from the new challenger, if you will, teams coming up.
Right.
And then hopefully we'll see improvement from the top just by virtue of the teams playing against each other. And then, the players, teams, like Johnny was saying about like the players maturing just by virtue of having a job in another country, essentially, right? Like that's, with that experience, they become not just hopefully better players competitively, but just better role models for the players back home, so to speak, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the answer is very obvious, right? The league should just give some money so that we can import some Koreans.
No, but we have Korean in the league.
Yeah, how'd that go for you?
No, it always happens. Every single year, people think that they can just win by doing that like one move. It's like break the glass in case of emergency, and then it never works out. Right? There's all these cultural integration things, and it's just like it's but they think like it can work. But to your point, in all seriousness, I think long-term sustainability is really like the key, right? Like for us, like even if you look at our players, right, and our team, we've had some of the same players come back, and it's been like 3, 4, 5 years of development before we've even made it to Worlds finally, and we feel like we've had this like mental breakthrough, right, to get to this level, and to qualify in such a I don't want to say like dominant way, but it was like even better than my expectations. But this is like kind of years in the making, right? Like Eddie has been with us since like the very beginning. It's been many years, and you need time to be able to develop players not only from a skill set perspective, but also like culturally, mentally, all this type of stuff that makes you a tough player.
Yeah, kind of like any workplace, right? Like you need to be able to build your team in the way that is best for success. And yeah, I think obviously congratulations is in order for making it to Worlds now. Especially like I don't think anyone came into that series and thought, oh yeah, Team Secret Wales got this so easily. So yeah.
Yeah, look, we've lost the game so many times, but nobody beats us 10 times in a row. Okay, nobody.
10 times the charm, huh?
There's like before the playoff, like I did not put any trust in this because I did so many times in the past. Like to tell you the truth, I root for them like from Team Secret and Team Well, and they both have a lot of like job in the past. So
Yeah.
I did not put a lot of trust in them. So I surprised me this up.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you are the youngest on average team, right?
Yes.
In our league right now, right? And so also going to Worlds from
I think,
our
yeah.
region, right? So yeah, when you talk about like it took a few years to develop the players, and despite spending a few years developing them, you're still the youngest team in our league, right? Like I think we need to enable stories like that, right? Like we need to enable teams to be able to do that. So take those young players, right? Spend a few years developing them before you can make it to these stages. So I think that's what I see as our responsibility. And boy, is it hard, but we're working at it.
Oceania's got you with the 0-19 to 19-0 run, mate. Don't you worry.
Look, I know it's that's a toughie, right? And some regions have further to go than others, right? But again, this doesn't, I guess, absolve us from this responsibility, right? We can't, frankly, just honestly, we can't just kind of grab a region and pull them to do that, right? And I'm not saying that like Osh wasn't trying or something, right? But sometimes it just circumstances don't work out.
It's hard.
And so that's why we didn't go to the different markets and go like, Thailand, you're doing a league this year, right?
Yeah.
It was a conversation, right? Finding the right partners, finding the teams, realizing there's fans that want to watch that and support that, right? And I think this will happen in Osh, and it might take a bit longer. Maybe it's not this year, or it's not this year, but maybe it's next year, right? And we'll just keep at it. I think we'll see the kind of fortunes and development of the different regions change over time. I think being open to that is really where, in the long term, like LCP is gonna shine. I think, right? And like outdo the other leagues, if I may brag a little.
How are the National League doing at the moment?
For us, like the wildcard leagues, honestly, I think they're great. Okay, I can't tell you all of the teams that won off the top of my head, right? But there's been a lot of discussions. We've had some of the discussion of like, can those teams beat the Promo Relo teams, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conversation that would indicate, at least to me, and I have to honestly say, like, obviously I haven't seen all of the teams play. I can't follow all of that. It's almost too much, right? But I think it's a healthy system so far. And also, to be transparent, right? I talked about like we've had a bit of a slow start, right? This year. And the kind of wild card and local league ecosystem has suffered because of that a little bit, right? It took us a while to set it up, right? And it's, again, I don't want to use the excuse again of like it's not easy. It isn't. I think next year, I'm really looking forward to it because it's gonna basically start from the start of the year, right? And I think, don't quote me on this, I think we're gonna have something like maybe 10, if not more, local leagues, right?
Oh.
That are kind of underneath LCP, right? That's huge,
Yeah.
right? And even if in some cases maybe it's a smaller one, right, that just provides this chance to players. I think once you kind of see that as a local, you're like a strong player on your server in your country. I think once you see that, we'll see this kind of pressure from the bottom that essentially forces all of our teams in LCP to, adapt and overcome.
I think, speaking from my experience, I would love for the other C team to come back to the LCP, because I think, John, you can vouch for that. C as a reason we love to fight each other. So the national pride between the C team is really heated from the old GBL era, when like Vietnamese team like facing like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines. The comment section is fire. So I miss that. I miss that, like battling with Bangkok Titan, Singapore Sentinel, and other team, Manila Eagle. So I hope we can see them soon in the LCP.
Yeah, same. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, this is kind of my background in esports. That's what I used to do in Europe, what I was really passionate about. I think, we talked a lot about like teams kind of promoting themselves and building fandom also in other countries, but 100%, no matter what, like the best case, right, is that for fans is to cheer from someone from their country.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter how much of an underdog you are and like how slim your chances may be. It's definitely something that like will bring more fans to LCP, right, to all of the teams, and will, I think, make other countries, and then consequently those leagues and those partners that are running them and the teams really sort of redouble their efforts into getting good at esports.
So for 2025, we have in Vietnam we call CFO the big brother of the league, and
Fair
they
enough.
did a really good job in First Land and MSI. But do you guys think it's the strength of CFO only, or it represent our league in a whole?
Well, I mean, I think I somewhat touched on this earlier, right? Is that I think, yes, CFO are, I think, clearly our best team, but they're only able to continue getting better and keeping up with international teams because of how good the rest of the league is, right? Like, I think if Team Secret Wales or GAM or PSG weren't as good as they were at times, CFO would naturally sort of, recline, relax a little bit, and then get a little bit complacent. I think it's really natural to see in esports. But this whole year, it's like, it doesn't matter how much CFO win by, or like they might be 9-0, but every series is still like, wow, they're like actually having to really work for this. They'll still end up winning, but it's never very clean, and it takes like really good gameplay out of them to get it done, which means they are just still having to continue improving. And there are so many reasons to that as well. Obviously, like the interregional thing, but I think there's very creative players. Like I always come back to Sealong and then Vikings, and like they always come up with these really unique meta things. I talked about it last time, where they invent a new way to play the game, and then the next week every other team is trying to copy exactly what they did. And I think without having all these other teams doing that, CFO wouldn't be as strong as they were. Still, they are the strongest in the league, but I don't think it comes without the other teams.
Clearly the strongest. Clearly.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Look, you guys beat them right back at the start, all right?
I think the only way
I think we're
to
the only
answer that
Almost feels like in 2024 back then.
Wow. All right. That just makes this weekend more spicy.
so we have the only team that can beat CFO in Da Nang.
Yes, that's true. That's
There's
true.
only one team.
It's all up to you.
I mean, that's a lot of weight on our shoulders, but hopefully we can perform.
Good practice for Worlds.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I think I'm actually looking forward to Worlds a lot because I think I love to watch international gameplay, right? I think, like to your point, even like clashing between nations, right? I think like the fandom and everything just becomes like that much more passionate. So international gameplay, I think, is like something that's really good for me as a fan, and something I just love to watch. Fighting in VCS and everything was great. But now in LCP and then like soon on to Worlds, I think it's great. I mean, so one question to you. Speaking of international gameplay,
Yeah.
is there any thought about expanding the league to more teams?
Ooh. Wait, how's that related to international gameplay?
Because we'll have more teams, and then it'll be more international, right? Unless you put 2 more Vietnamese teams in there.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Whoa.
We've got
3 of those. I'm just saying.
yeah, I mean, okay. To be honest, right? It's the top 3 at the moment, or maybe 4 if we do super well, right? And MSI like going. So I don't think necessarily adding more is like what gets us better results at internationals. Bit of a sidebar, but like I also love international events because that's where I no longer have to be impartial, right? So like, like here in Da Nang, it's like, oh, made the best team
Exactly
win,
how I
etc.
feel.
Right? But then at internationals, it's like no, LCP team,
That's right.
yeah, kick everyone else's butt.
And then I go on Twitter and there's all these people saying so much bad, not just ignoring the LCP existing, and then they lose to them. It's like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gloves come off at international events, that's for sure. But yeah, to the point of expanding the league, it was a very hotly debated but like consciously made decision to have 8 teams, right? Obviously, we created LCP in a region that had 30, 40, 50, depending on how you look at it, like professional teams, right? So this was no matter what going to be like a pretty significant change, right? And that's why like we wanted to make sure that the other leagues stay. And so it's a bit of a cop out my answer now, right? But like I want to make sure that all of the local leagues are good enough for teams to kind of like survive and continue in esports, so that being in or out of LCP is not like a do or die, right? For them as a Oregon esports. But of course, every other week we discuss, would we expand, would we not expand? And again, coming back to like the reason for 8 teams, frankly, there's like fewer mouths to feed. I know it sounds pretty brutal, right? But the GRP, right, that the teams get, that they share, right, the prize money, right, the rewards, chances in international events, how much exposure you get on broadcast, right, is more concentrated. And I think before we make a step like expanding to 10 teams, because that's a really big step. I know it doesn't seem like it when you have 8 teams, just adding 2 more, right? But it expands our schedule massively, right? So like if you would want to make format changes, you want to try something new, try something different, give the teams more games, that's a massive undertaking when we have 10 teams, right? So yeah, again, to kind of answer your question, I don't think necessarily that'd be like our solution to get better at the internationals, right? Because really that's the top teams that need to kind of get better. And as you said, I think they need to like sharpen each other up, right? And play more against each other. So we are looking at like, okay, how can we make the best teams, like give them a better prep for international events, right?
Is there, would you say, more incentive for the league to add more Vietnamese teams because game time is over?
I mean, it's, I think, look, there's incentive to have more teams from everywhere.
Yeah. So you acknowledge that game time is over.
No comment on that one.
I think
I still have to be impartial. Ask me when it's like international events time, then I can tell you.
I think also like everyone here will agree as well. You look back last year, right? VCS, very top heavy. PCS, very top heavy. OCE, very top heavy. LJL, very top heavy. So like, even now we have the LCP, it's like not as top heavy. Like instead of having like 3 really good teams and then the rest are kind of like, maybe there's a chance, but you never really got that much hope. Now it's more like, okay, there's 5 teams where realistically you wouldn't be surprised to see any one of them come top 3.
Right.
And there's, obviously the LJL and the OC teams that are still struggling, but like even then they get competitive with each other as well. Like Chiefs have been taking games off many of the teams in the league. It's not unbelievable that they could have done it. Whereas you go back to the PCS, there were some teams where it was just like, wow, like they just don't have a chance. They just like, for lack of a better word, suck. Like they actually just suck. You compare them to like PSG back then, they just sucked. And I'm sure the same happened in the VCS, although I wasn't so closely following it. But like, I think the same would happen in the LCP. If you like expand it right now, you'd probably end up having, okay, now there's 5 really good teams and 5 not so good teams. And like, what does that improve? Maybe viewership, but even then maybe it hinders it because people's favorite teams are off air more often than not. So yeah.
We have really harsh word for that. Like we have more trust much to be blunt.
Yeah. I mean, that's
like CFO versus like the very bottom.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of, you see it on the schedule. It's like,
is it enough to
incent
viewership?
Yeah. I think that's obviously that's one of the risks, right? It's not the, I would say, main reason why we don't expand, but sure. I mean, you might get lucky, right? And you might add like another 2 top tier contenders for the top teams that like, are always, I don't know, top 3, top 4 and contend for those international events. You might add the new bottom 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't really help anyone because honestly, at that point, some of them might be almost more helpful to their region, pulling up the teams in their local league rather than kind of like giving gimme wins it to the top teams in LCP.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, it's really, I mean, this is,
it's like an impossible. You win it.
You can predict
lose
that,
either
right?
way. You win either way. It's like
you can't predict that. So I think it's a while still until we take that risk. But you never know.
Because right now it's kind of do or die for the promotion team in Vietnam. I did a postcard with the coach of Saigon Dino.
Yeah.
The team gonna play with MVK, and one of his like strategy is to he tried to like psychology warfare with MVK. He said that if my team lose, we go back to reset as usual. But if your team lose, you're gonna lose like million of them on the podcast. And it's kind of true.
Yeah, true.
Nice. Is it working? You think?
I think it's a bit.
Well, hey, I mean, all's fair, or not all, not everything is fair, but this one seems
to a level all's fair.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, because MVK they have to like set up a lot of things for LCP.
For sure.
And if they lost that series, it's gonna be like hell.
Yeah, especially when they're like so close to not having to be there, right? Like they're 1 series away from not having to be there. So, yes. It's all crazy. You'd think though, like, I mean, I haven't watched much of the Dinos. I know like their mid laner Pout is really strong, but you'd still think the experience that MVK had this year, you'd have to hope they're favored. Just like
no, I think for my personal opinion, it's like 50-50.
Really?
Because
Wow.
Savandino, they have like Sparta and Via.
Yeah.
So they're both VCS champion,
Right. Okay.
I think.
Well, that's exciting then.
Via is a like multiple time champion across multiple team. Sparta used to be, and it's still like a top tier top laner. So it's kind of, and the psychology warfare.
Yeah.
So
Do you think Solifim plugs in the mouse and keyboard?
I hope so, because the last season of the BCS, the big viewership come from that series.
Really?
Yeah. So-
Is he registered as a sub? Is he?
No.
I just want to make sure is it a realistic
I mean,
scenario?
he's an official
Coaches-
team member, and
Yeah, I think coaches are allowed to play if they need, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how the rules work. Like, yeah.
I don't, in case that's like their secret ace up
Yeah.
their sleeve, I don't want to give it away, right? But like, yeah, it's possible.
I think it's legal, yeah.
So coming to Worlds, I think there's a little bit of pressure for the LCB team to prove that our league is not like the lower tier league, right? So they have to perform.
Yes.
It's their job to perform.
Honestly, I mean, I don't want to like lower expectations or something, right? I think so far they've exceeded expectations, right? So when LCP teams went to either FST or MSI, I think everyone was like, even looking at just FST, oh, that's the
Minor
underdogs.
region.
Yeah,
Minor
minor
region.
region,
Yeah.
minor region curse and all of that, right? And I think they've shown that, that not a minor region, or at least if that's the minor region, what about all the other ones that are dropping games to them left and right, right?
Sure.
And then MSI, already you could see a little bit of that like narrative shift of like, sure, maybe they're still the underdogs, but like the expectations are rising. And then, you see like, GAM, sorry for mentioning them again, right? Like GAM taking games of G2, CFO, just don't want to trigger you, man. CFO taking games of T1, right? Like you see that and you're like, you know what, maybe honestly, they just need more opportunities to do that and things are going to be fine. So obviously I'm hoping I'm sure they will do us proud just looking at the past two events, right? And of course I'll be cheering only for them. But yeah, I think like they've already shown this, and this, I mean, it wasn't even year one, right? Like FST was a few months into our league, and
2, I think.
right,
Yeah.
right, like coming off of the event, I was like, yo, this is fine. We're all
We're
right.
good. We're top 4, hey, we take that.
Yeah.
So the final question, your prediction for the LCB team at World 2025.
My prediction. Okay, so I think ultimately coming in, you'd be dumb not to think CFO are going to do the best, right? I would be hopeful.
Again,
Look, I'm just being honest. Look. You haven't given me any Team Secret Wales merch.
You're
So
right.
until then, it's CFO all the way, Matt.
you're in Vietnam right now.
No, but I think for CFO, I actually really hope for, top 8 I'd expect. I think if they do less than top 8 is really an underperformance, but I would hope for a top 4. And I think it's going to be hard. Like, it's 4 LPL teams, 4 LCK teams, but I think it is possible. Like, you just look at them at MSI, right? It's definitely possible they can make it there. In the second spot, I think it's hard. I think looking traditionally, I would actually think that Team Secret Wales might do better than PSG, mainly because I never have faith in PSG's drafting. I think PSG trying to get through the draft phase has always been such a struggle, and it gets even worse at Worlds. So I think, I think a top 8 for Team Secret Wales is possible, although, it comes into how nervous is everyone. A lot of, newer players, as you've pointed out, as everyone's pointed out. If they can go to Worlds and sort of be calm, I think I have high hopes for them. But yeah, I think that'll be my order. CFO doing the best, and then Team Secret Wales and PSG, I'd say doing relatively similar, but I'll slightly put Team Secret Wales higher.
For me as a team owner, I really can't say anything because it'll just be a total jinx.
Yeah.
I don't want any bad karma. I don't want any bad luck. I don't want anything. But I will say one thing, which is the reason, we kind of turned a corner this season and this year is because we focused a lot on mental training and on like team philosophy. And we have one philosophy that is going to continue into Worlds that we already have, which we talked about, which is we're not here to be tourists.
Well,
It's cold,
I
though.
can't say
I like
anything
that.
because I'm the product lead for the league and I don't want to jinx stuff. But I will
We
say
have a lot of things here because I am like banned from
Yeah.
predicting
I've
anything.
been told about you.
Yeah, like,
right.
nothing for me.
Okay. Well, I will just say I'm a sucker for like young rookie players going to international events.
I see
And
where
doing
it's
well.
going. I see where
Right,
it's going.
So take this as you will. Like
Okay.
I just love seeing it because it's what we need, right? Like this kind of like young energy, fresh blood in the league, and kicking the butts of the older established players, especially the ones from other regions, right? Hopefully, there's not too many internal LCP fights at Worlds if the draft is lucky
Sure.
for us. But yeah,
When you said young rookies, I thought you meant PSG for a second, man.
I mean, young compared to the other players, not compared to me.
Oh, right.
As a young midland.
Really young mid laner.
I think we all hope for the best for the LCB team.
Oh,
Our
absolutely.
our first season
Hell yeah.
as a
Yeah.
reason.
World champions or else.
Or we don't come back. Or there's no season 2.
Like the last time a team from our region become world champion, Vietnam and Taiwan team play together in the same league.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm just
Hey, no. I'll take it, dude.
Only a couple of years ago too.
Yeah. So
Seems like yesterday.
okay, so thank you for your time in your like crazy schedule in Da Nang, and obviously thank you the audience for supporting the LCB in 2025, and we hope to see you again in 2026. Bye bye.
Thank you.